Hello, I'm Harmony and welcome back. So today I'm going to be sharing with you a few tips on how to create your own website for the very first time. I started out this business, Harmony Funeral Care, back then with very little capital because of course I was trying to save money as a startup, and I did my own website. So you can go to the website now to see it's functional, maybe aesthetically average or slightly above average, and it did require tweaks every now and then for sure to be relevant and stay up to date. However, the main skeleton is still there. I actually attended a half-day course that was conducted by this company at International Plaza, if I'm not wrong, and thereafter I learned how to do up my own website. Of course, the session was very informational, I must say, very helpful also, but it was a free session and I did not have sufficient funds that I was willing to spare that could further my studies in doing up a website. So I was thinking to myself, maybe I should just try, and that's what I did, and voila, I ended up with a pretty decent website. Okay, so how did I do it? First, you need to find a suitable domain name and purchase it. So you can purchase it online. There are various websites to do it, like GoDaddy.com or exabytes.sg, or there's also domain names. So you can just type on Google search. You can search on Google by domain names and think of a good domain name that you want. So for example, if you want it to be very specific to your company, it could be like yourcompanyname.com or yourcompanyname.com.sg or yourcompany.name.sg. So for domains with .sg in particular, they will actually require a few more verification processes to ensure that your company is indeed registered in Singapore and operating in Singapore. So it will take slightly a longer processing time because they require you to log into various platforms to identify yourself as a business really registered in Singapore. If you do not want such a particular domain name that is so linked to your company, because maybe you foresee yourself potentially changing the name of your company in the next few years, you might choose a domain name that is more general, but it's applicable to most companies in that particular industry. So for example, if you're doing funeral like me, then it will be like singaporefuneralservices.com or .sg or .com.sg. Or if you're doing like cleaning services, it will be Singapore Cleaning Services. Whether to include the word Singapore is up to you, but having these words does help in your SEO, which is a search engine optimization, which is something that a lot of people are into right now. Okay, so after coming out with a domain name, check on the domain websites to purchase whether these names are available, and they usually incur a fee. It's about, depending on which website you go to purchase the domains, they will charge you different rates, and you can choose to buy the domain for 1 year or 3 years, but they are renewable. So do take note that such charges are recurring. It's not a one-time fee. You can even buy the domain name for 10 years, but of course for more popular names, it will usually be more expensive. You get what you pay for. Then secondly, you need to actually purchase the hosting platform. So a domain name is just a name, but you need a hosting platform to host your website. So it's like, the analogy will be that this hosting platform, it's like a house where you can house different domains. It's like the house is actually the hosting platform, and then the domains are like your tenants. Okay, so you can just purchase like one particular hosting platform. For me, I actually use Exabyte. I find it quite good, but you can explore other options as well. So hosting is very important because for me, I purchased the one that allows me to host several websites and not just one. So it allows me to have also more space in the hosting platform. This causes your website to be less slow as well. Then you have to link your domain to the hosting platform. Thereafter, from the hosting platform, what I did is from the hosting platform, I decided that I wanted to use WordPress as a backend for my website. So I had to download WordPress on the hosting platform, and then I had to download Builder as a plugin. So WordPress, right, has a lot of options you can do using plugins, and the plugins are amazing. It allows you to do a lot of things on your website without having to code them. And I'm not a coder, so of course that would be very difficult for me. After downloading the required programs and linking the domain with the hosting platform, then I kind of like have my website. But then now that's the tedious part, because before starting to really build a website, I collated my content into a Word doc. So you should have a rough idea of how you want your website to flow. How is the first page going to look like, right? Your landing page, which is the main page that people goes to. So your first page should, on the top, it's always a navigator. So it should have like a home, a contact us, or like a menu or products or services that you're offering, so that it's easy for people to navigate and click to them when they need to. Then you have to also think about from your front page, like what pictures you want and how many icons you want, what's the message you're trying to send to people. So generally, the first page should be aesthetically pleasant and straight to the point, because your landing pages has to be relevant for people to continue to stay on your page. So on the first page, you should also probably include various reasons why people should choose your company over others. For Harmony Funeral Care, for the website that I created in particular, I gave about 3 to 4 reasons. So one of the reasons being that ours is value for money. The prices are competitive and we give sufficient value that is reasonable compared to the rest in the industry. And the second one is that we provide real-time updates that most other companies do not. So what do I mean by real-time updates? We provide updates on the go. So whenever the body of your loved one is moved from one location to another, you'll receive a prompt to inform you, so that you will be kept in the loop as well, and everyone in the family knows exactly what is going on, know what's the rough time to expect the body to arrive back at the wake venue. So depending on what industry you are in, you might have different specialties or unique selling points, USPs, that you might want to put on the first page of your website, so that people are clear of what to expect and people are clear why they should choose your company. Okay, so pictures are also very important on the first page, remember, because visuals say a lot. Some people, they don't even bother to read through the content. However, content is very important, because content would determine your search engine optimization. Okay, so if you're not really clear what SEO is, you might want to research on it, because it helps you to save a lot of money. So SEO helps in pushing your website, right? Your pages to, depending on how good your SEO is, and this is also determined by algorithms set by Google, they will rank your website either on the first page, second page, third page, or even more for various keywords. So of course, the best is that your SEO is so good such that your website ranks first page for most of the keywords that you want. So for example, I would want people to be able to see my website on the first page when they type keywords like Christian funeral or Catholic funeral or even Buddhist funeral, because these are keywords to me. These are things that people usually type when they do need our service, and the conversion rate will then be higher. So but if you're in another industry, your keywords will be different. You need to research what your keywords are. Keywords are basically what people will type into Google to search for when they require your service. So this requires a bit of on-the-ground research, or maybe some surveys to be conducted to find out exactly what keywords are the words that is relevant for industry. The more accurate your keywords are, then the higher the conversion. But of course, this also means that your landing pages have to be relevant to them, to give them sufficient information and to build the trust that they need to call you up in the first place. Okay, so for my website, like I said, content is very important because it helps in your SEO. Build up the content, use a Word doc first, and then draft it up like how you want the flow to be. So the first page might have various services that you show people, and then when you click onto that, what is the second page that will lead to? So for me on WordPress, I added a page, so add a new page, and I saved the template for each page so that it's consistent throughout also. Remember that your website should have consistent colors, fonts, so as to make sure that your entire branding is consistent. This is something I learned along the way. I wasn't as good when I first started out, so I had to make tweaks and changes along the way thanks to advices given by different people that came along in my company to help me as well. So it's a learning journey. Do not be afraid to make mistakes. Your first draft might not be perfect, and that's totally fine because it's your first draft. But as long as you make the first step to do it, I think you should give yourself credit for that. Okay, so search engine optimization. If you have good content, your SEO will be high. This means that your page will be also very visible, in the sense that when people type keywords relevant to your industry, your website might appear on the first page. The best is that it appears on the first page because people's attention span are so short, they might not even proceed to the next page. They might just call up the few companies on the first page and then compare various prices of products or items and then make a decision. So ideally, your page, your website should have pages that are on the first page of a Google search keyword. Okay, but if it's not, unfortunately, then you might have to consider using Google Ads. Google Ads is an inorganic way to push your page of the website to the first page for certain keywords when people search the keywords in Google. However, this incurs a cost and it's not very cheap. For certain keywords, just to share with you, for example, for funeral keywords, it can go up to $20 plus per click. Can you imagine if there's 100 clicks? It's already gonna be like $2,000, and this can be incurred in a very short period of time. Google Ads is amazing in the way that you can control how the ads appear, what kind of keywords you want for the ads to appear, but you still cannot control whether it appears at the top of the page or at the bottom of the page. So this depends on algorithms set by Google, and it also depends on the bidding price that you bid for and how popular the keyword is. So you have to do a bit of research for that. Until now, I'm still learning, but it's very interesting because if your SEO is good enough, which means that through organically searching the keywords, people really know your page and you get exposure, that would be great. So hopefully when you are crafting up your content, it helps in creating a good website, a website with original content. So Google really likes original relevant content that will help you in your SEO. I think for starters, so I think that is about all as to how I created a website. It's gonna take effort and days, but craft out your content and be strategic about it. Hopefully this information helps you in one way or another when you're starting up a business and trying to keep your costs low. A website doesn't cost much. At the end of the day, it's also a continuous effort to post relevant information on your blog post to make sure that your website is relevant and Google picks that up and rank your SEO even higher for the keywords that you intend to aim for. Hopefully this helps, because it did help me when I first started out. There was a lot of trials and errors, so you might also have to go through a period of trials and errors. Be prepared to put in a lot of hours into this, because I was doing it for about 2 to 3 weeks continuously, even on the go. When I was in the car being transported from one location to another, I was frantically typing on my laptop just to make sure that this website gets completed in the needed time frame that I needed it to be complete. Because with a website, people then can refer to your services, and in today's tech-savvy world, a lot of people still rely on website information, right, when they key in certain keywords, and they also rely on Google reviews. So do not neglect Google reviews. Google reviews are very important. Even when you go to a restaurant now, you will search for restaurants with like high stars, good ratings, then you read the reviews and see what is good to order. Similarly, for any product or service, even a funeral service, the same rule applies as well. And for any business that you intend to start up, always remember to put in your best effort. Even if it doesn't work out the way that you want to, there's definitely something you take away from it, something you learn. So don't give up, persevere, and you will achieve something. Even if you don't complete an entire website, for example, I'm sure you will still learn something from it, and you will still have a final product, an end result that you're happy with. Okay, see you in the next episode, and hope you found this information useful.